for Tots. SCHEEL's Eden Prairie in the Power Trip Morning Show. Max Fuller is here. Marnie Gellner is here. Sauce is here. Chris Hockey. I'm Corey Cove. Zach is back in St. Louis Park. And before we jump back into this thing here live at SCHEEL's, Zach, all week long, we are giving away a trip for two to Ottawa for the World Juniors in about a month, right? It's in January. Yesterday, I think was his name William? I think his name was William, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Something like that, or was he the backup? It doesn't matter.
He won.
Okay, so he picked Marnie Gellner first in the old initials draft, but we have to have another winner in Zach back in St. Louis Park. Zach, you have the next player on the line.
That's right, Corey. Ben is on the phone.
Not that Ben. Hi, Ben.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Hey, Cor. I think we're going to take Chris Hockey.
Oh, you're going Hawks second. Chris Hockey goes second. All right, so Ben, congratulations. If Chris Hockey wins on Friday, then you're going to win that trip for two to Ottawa to see the World Juniors in January, which is super cool.
Do me proud, Hawk.
All right. Shout out to Ben.
He's shopping.
He's shopping. But he did fist pump. He's very excited that you took him second. All right, so Marnie goes first. Chris Hockey goes second. So Sauce, Parrish, and Mike Madonna are the other three options. So listen all week long for your chance to win.
Well, I'm not going to disappoint somebody for the first time in my life. I'm going to win this for you, buddy.
Is that right?
Yeah, no disappointments. You see all those toys that Hero brought over there?
Yeah. Tons,
How
man.
cool is that? That's
Hero's
only the first
sweet.
part. That's awesome.
All right, let's do Fan 5.
Yeah, where the show flies by.
Sure does.
It's time for Fan 5, brought to you
All right,
by
Ben,
builders and remodelers.
A couple things we haven't talked about yet. Let's throw these out there. Gopher men are now 6-3. They host Michigan State Wednesday at 7:30.
Final four, baby.
The Gopher women, though, 9-0.
What?
And they are going for 10-0 tonight against the North Florida Ospreys.
Are you going?
Yeah, I got my tickets.
They are
Is
2-6.
Is it there or here?
It's here.
The Offspring is 2-6.
The Ospreys.
There or your offspring?
No, Guernsey is brilliant. Right?
Yeah.
Because he's great at what he does too. And I'm sure he loves doing this bit, but he travels all over the place.
Yeah.
He gets to do this bit. He's doing college football, and then he does college basketball. It's awesome.
And he's not always flying into a major city with an airport. He's flying into a city and then driving an hour to the college campus.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I'd do it.
Wow.
I'd
Would
do
you
it.
really?
I'd do it.
Yeah, you love that
I'd be
college
like,
stuff.
and the person has the ball and in.
That is weird. Like, my wife and kids have been begging me to take a lot of these jobs for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, do you think
I-
I'd be good at it? They're like, no.
They're seeing
Like,
it
oh,
clearly.
well-
They just look at the travel schedule.
I think so, but I don't know.
And it's because Hot Ass Randy now has weekend hours.
He has been spending a lot of time doing work on the weekends,
Everybody's working for the weekend.
I guess.
Great
Yeah.
song.
Marnie, your thoughts on Lindsay Whalen joining the Lynx coaching staff?
What a great hire. Man, that's a real full circle kind of thing. I was at the press conference yesterday, and she is just a person who has really done some soul searching and reflecting after her head coaching departure with the Golden Gophers, because that's hard. That's a public job, and when you are publicly let go of your position, that's just not an easy thing to sort of figure out and navigate. She went from playing for the Lynx to coaching for the Gophers as a head coach with 0 days in between. So for the last year and a half, she's finally had the time to sit, think, party, hang out with her
dance.
family, but do like some of the soul searching that a lot of us do because we
Drag
have the
race.
time and we make the natural progressions. And so this is now what she wants to do. She is a great coach. She has a lot to offer and give, and to be able to work with the guards for the Lynx, as she was one. She was the interpreter for Cheryl Reeve, basically, when Lindsay was the point guard. And now she'll be that as an assistant coach. I think it's an awesome hire. Can't wait.
I said it earlier, and I kind of think I misspoke because I said to myself, and I said on the air, that's your head coach in training right there. But there's so many people on that staff that are the next head coach
Yeah.
in training, right?
Yeah, including the associate head coach that they just hired, who was the head coach
Right.
of the Washington Mystics.
No, that guy's not going to do it. We're going to give it to Whalen. Can't give it to that guy.
That
Who's
guy,
that
by the
guy?
way, his name is Eric Tebow, and his dad,
Used to
Mike
work here.
Tebow, was the head coach of the the Connecticut Sun when Lindsay Whalen was drafted from Minnesota. So the now assistant coach, associate head coach for the Lynx, Eric, his dad, Mike, drafted Lindsay out of college to Connecticut. Then they went on to Washington. His dad was the GM and head coach. Then he became the head coach, and now he is our associate head coach.
I don't know
so
why
we
she
have
talks to you like you didn't know
multiple
I didn't
head
follow
coaches
any
in
of
waiting.
that.
The only
How did
problem
you not
is,
know that?
or maybe blessing, we also have a head coach who ain't going anywhere.
That's right.
Well said.
Unless she wants to.
Oh, she can do whatever. Yes,
You know
Cheryl
what I mean?
do what Cheryl wants.
Absolutely. I can't
She has
imagine
that all
you
the
want to
time.
do all those jobs forever, you know?
The Broncos beat the Browns last night on Monday Night Football 41-32. A late pick six sealed it. Jameis Winston, 4 touchdowns, 497 yards, but he did throw 3 interceptions, and 2 of them were returned. And after the game, he said sincerely, "I'm just praying to the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes."
That's
That was
not
his
bad.
actual quote?
Actual quote.
That's not bad.
Book of Jameis coming soon. New edition of the Bible.
Yep. Jerry Jeudy, 9 catches, 235 yards in his score.
Yeah, he's really good.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that was the team that drafted him, and he was pissed, so we just torched him.
Sure. The Timberwolves beat the Lakers 109-80.
Hell
Marnes,
yeah.
you were all over that game.
I was, man. It was fun. Julius Randle after the game had said something
He
interesting
plays
where
for the Timberwolves.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you for the interpretation. Yeah, Hawk, I didn't see you there. I'm sorry. That with all the close games, they had played 8 of 9, I think, had been determined by single digits. And that is a stressful situation to be in. But he also was talking about how just draining mentally that is to be that locked in and stressed throughout an entire game. And then last night they finally had, I mean, subs came in, white flag subs came in at the 6.5 minute mark of the fourth quarter. I mean, you can make up a lot of ground in the NBA in 6.5 minutes. Am I right, Max?
Yeah, it got almost so bad that Brownie almost got in the game. But I guess
He
29
wasn't
points isn't enough.
Yeah, that was not good. JJ Redick was, yeah, he knew what he was watching out there, and they didn't have it, and they weren't going to find it.
And that was the closest it felt like to last season, don't you think, Marnes? Just
Yes.
from not only from like the on-court stuff, but just the joy and intensity
Yes.
that they were playing with. We're seeing guys laughing and having fun again, and that felt like what last season felt
Yes.
like.
And it's funny how quickly winning cures almost everything, but it is so true.
Right, because they were ready to throw hands about a week ago.
Yeah, to each other.
Correct. So
All
we're
right.
back on track, and now it's 2 straight.
We back,
head
baby.
on the road.
Yeah, Hogs.
Yeah, man, I'm a big fan.
Of?
The triangle offense.
The old upside down pineapple.
That's what
Run
I'm
it.
saying, man. You know, I'm glad you listened. Because I think that's the one thing that we weren't doing enough early in the season is the upside down pineapple. And, you know, dribbling is a big part of the game. It's a big part. I think
Sauce,
it's
is he
underrated.
wrong?
Yeah, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Underrated, man.
Let's break now. When we come back, we'll do headlines before Jalen Naylor gets here, before we talk to Jonathan Greenard. So we'll be Vikings heavy and commercial free. the rest
Just
of the way.
Jonathan Greenard, I'm sorry to say.
Oh, really? No Jalen Naylor.
Late scratch for the Power Trip Morning Show for Jalen Naylor. My
Okay.
apologies about that. We just found out just now, late scratch for the Power Trip. But we will
Got it.
have Jonathan Greenard.
Got it. So Jalen might be on a different show later?
I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe.
I was going to say, because if he's late getting here, then how speedy is he?
He was going by so fast. He kept going.
Oh, he missed us.
And they said
Overshot it.
just like the Superman, just keep going all the way around the world
Yeah.
and get back here.
Yeah, because Superman went around the world and then turned time back, which
That's right.
makes no sense.
Especially because Lois wasn't that hot. I mean, let's just be honest. Am I right?
We were all thinking
Huge
it.
plot hole.
Your hands up.
She drowned in dirt.
You would.
She drowned in dirt?
Yeah, remember she took a dirt nap. If you remember she like kind of fell. I think she was in a car and it got covered in dirt. And then Superman was so mad that he went around the Earth,
Oh, that's right.
turned it backwards, and then somehow time also goes backwards,
Yeah.
which again makes no sense.
You've seen Superman, but not Grease?
That is correct. Thanks for following along. That is the right answer.
I do remember that part that he went backwards. And I remember when he
Yep.
gave up his powers for her. I'm like, dude.
It's Margot Kidder. Like,
She
come
ain't that
on.
hot.
Well, and, you know.
Right, it's not Olivia Newton-John and sewn-on pants.
Oh, yeah.
That's worth turning back
Stomping
time
out a
for.
cigarette and high heels.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Headlines next. Jonathan Greenard later. This is the Power 2 Morning Show. Toys for Tots, thanks to Minnesota Vikings, Shields, and Unreal. We're back after this.
Man.
Trip Morning Show. Final segment for the Power Trip, but we're here all day as a radio station at Toys for Tots at SCHEEL's Eden Prairie, where they've got everything you need for anything you want to do, and that includes having toys for the Toys for Tots program. And again, I've said it a million times, but if you're driving and you're saying, I'd love to bring you some Toys for Tots, I don't have any toys, come on out. They got toys right outside the door where we're broadcasting from. They'll have them all day long, and various Vikings will be coming by all day long. We probably have various prizes all day long. There's all kinds of things going on, so make sure you stop on by, and we will talk to Jonathan Greenard in just a little bit. So come on by, as all these fine-looking people have done this morning. Thank you all for stopping by. We appreciate it very much.
And real quick, Vikings fans, every time the Vikings defense intercepts the ball during a game, you score a buy one, get one free drink from Caribou the next day. So if you ever heard PA say BOGO ball has been activated, that's what he's talking about. And you can celebrate those big plays with your favorite drinks. Make sure to visit Caribou Coffee and take advantage of this amazing deal.
Nailed it.
Yeah, BOGO ball.
Yeah, BOGO ball.
That's right. Yeah, we got that this weekend, I think, did we not? Or maybe it was the weekend before.
I think
Yeah, we
Was
did.
it this weekend?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
That's right. That's right. So
All right, should we do headlines?
let's do headlines.
Brought to you by our friends at Wolf River Electric and wolfriverelectric.com. Go solar with Wolf River Electric.
You have them, right?
I sure do, Paul. Thank you for asking. That came up organically.
How's that going?
Yeah,
I have solar panels, Marnie, and it's going just great.
Hey, Corey,
Yes, Christopher.
I've never snowboarded in my life. Is it fun?
It's the best. I haven't done it in like 20 years, but it was my entire childhood, and I miss it, and I don't know why I don't do it.
Yeah, why don't you do it?
I don't know.
Get back
I'm
into
busy.
it, Cole.
I
Are you a
freaking loved it.
Is it a situation where you either ski or you snowboard, or can you do both?
Max, you know the phrase, once you go black, you never go back? You've heard that, right?
Twice.
I felt that way about water skiing and downhill skiing, that once I started wakeboarding and snowboarding, I never wanted to ski again. So I think once you snowboard or wakeboard, you don't go back.
That's pretty cool, man. I bet I'd like to try it, but I bet
Is
I
it
can't do it.
something you should learn in your 40s?
I would love to watch you learn to snowboard.
I bet you can do it. You're a very athletic gentleman.
Yeah, you're agile, and
You'll be shocked by this. I did it once and quit.
that sounds right.
Yeah. This will also shock you. My dad bought me all the equipment. I did it once and I never went back to it.
And I'm going to guess your dad had to climb up the hill and carry you down.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's why it looks like The Rock.
Of Gibraltar.
Way back in the day, Henry Lake and I got a free trip to go see Vail, Colorado. We got to stay at Vail thanks to, I forget who it was thanks to.
Vicky Vale.
And one of the highlights of the trip for me was I was riding up the ski lift with my buddy with a snowboard and watching Henry Lake on the bunny hill trying to learn how to ski and knowing he was going to do none of that for the next 3 days. Like, this is not going to work. This is going to be a meat sauce situation. He's going to try it for 20 minutes and say, where do I get some drinks? Where do I meet some ladies? I am done with the whole skiing thing. So I don't know how long he lasted, but I remember riding that entire chairlift up, just gut laughing, going like, this is a disaster.
I can't even imagine Lake on the slope.
I love that he gave it a shot, though.
Right.
Again, this is 15 or so years ago, but he was trying. Gave it a shot. Marnes, do you ski or snowboard?
I can water ski. I've water skied since I was a kid. Not regularly because we don't have a lake, but
Sure.
I still can. I can get up at any time
Whoa.
on water skis.
Sick, right?
I have snow skied a couple of times just on the very bunny hills. The thing is, when you're just learning, if you are snow skiing, you have the snowplow feature that anyone can do fairly easily, especially on an easy hill. On a snowboard, which I have tried once and also meat sauced it, I quit. Because as I started to go down
Way
the hill,
easy.
I had no idea how to slow down except to bail, except to fall.
Except to fall down.
At least on skis, I knew how to snowplow and control my speed, even at the very start. Meaning when I did it for the first time. But on a snowboard,
you
how
got a
does a
front edge or back
first-timer-
edge.
I
Yeah,
had
it's hard.
no idea. I started going and picking up steam, and I was like, OS, I have no idea where the brakes are on this thing.
And learning how to fall on a snowboard is snowboarding 101.
Yeah.
Because you do fall a ton the first couple days you go. A ton. And you can't fall with your hands. I almost broke both of my wrists at Wild Mountain when I was like 16. Fell backwards and put both of my hands out to try to catch instinctually tried to catch myself. And I thought I broke both of them. I broke neither one of them, but it felt like both of them snapped.
That would have ruined your social life.
Hold on one second.
I don't get that joke.
Sir, what is your name?
My name's Austin.
Hi, Austin.
Austin, what do you do for a living?
I work for Unreal.
But you used to work for
SCHEEL.
There it is.
That's what I'm talking about. This man here has been involved in the fan for a very, very long time, and we love all your products. Thank you for being involved in the fan and everything that's going on. How's the drops been for you this year with these hoodies?
Oh, they've been great. I mean, obviously it helps with the Vikings continuing to win each week. So as long as they keep winning, we'll keep selling some hoodies.
Would you like to use me as a model?
Have you seen yourself today? You look fantastic.
Jesus, Austin, keep it in your pants.
Right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Austin, relax. Shoot your shot, brother. Shoot your shot.
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, man. Thank you for having us as always. Appreciate it. Back to you guys. I'm just flirting back here.
Now I want to go snowboarding. Let's go snowboarding.
With Austin?
Sure. You can go skiing, Marnie. I'll go snowboarding.
I went skiing one time. Literally one time.
How?
Just like you're saying. Hi.
Where was it?
What's good, Sauce?
Up at Papa Charlie's. What's that place called?
Oh, Lutzen?
Lutzen. Yeah. And I went on the bunny hill, which wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
No.
And just like you said, Marnes, I couldn't stop. And I also firmly believe this because I was already in my early 40s. Those are muscles I just had never used. And I don't know how long it would take me to learn how to use those.
Right.
You know, it's just I couldn't bend my knees right. Couldn't figure out how to stop. I figured out how to fall. Like you were saying, I was pretty good at falling, but I said, no, this ain't for me. And then I just went back in and started drinking.
I'll tell you what, though, like being at the top of like Beaver Creek, right, Sauce?
Been there.
Or
Amen, brother.
Or Vale.
Yeah,
you're on the
Vale's
top of the
sweet.
mountain.
Yeah.
You take a 20-minute chairlift up. You feel like you're on the top of the world. The
It's
view
sweet.
itself is worth trying to get down the mountain. It's the best.
Yeah, it's sweet.
It's
Can you
spectacular.
also chairlift down?
I don't think you're
No.
supposed to.
I mean, you can.
Is it available for some?
Probably in an emergency
Yeah.
situation, sure.
Wait, what's the thing called? What the gondolas? You can take that. My wife and I were in Vale in August.
Oh, wow.
We just rode around.
Yeah, we just
you know,
fail.
yeah, smoked some kush and just rode around on the. We rode around on the gondolas. It was sweet. I've never been there in the winter. I've heard it's majestic.
It sure is. Saturday Night Live has named hosts for the rest of the year. A couple of the big name hosts will be Chris Rock on the 14th and then Martin Short on the 21st.
Oh, wow. Chris Rock.
Sweet.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Both technically former SNL
Yeah,
members, right? Rock had a pretty good stretch there,
Yeah,
although
sure.
he never had a huge role on SNL, right? He hit it big really afterwards. But Martin Short was on, I think, just 1 year?
Martin Short was, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
just
I think
1
He
year.
was one of that group of people who was just on for 1 year.
Yeah.
Wasn't it a weird year where they actually got some established people instead
Billy
of
Crystal?
up-and-comers? Yeah.
The dude who does Best in Show and all those. the
Christopher
guy-
Guest.
Christopher
Martin
Guest.
Lawrence.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Martin, who said Martin Lawrence?
Me.
Yeah, no, it was a weird year. That's fun though.
Martin Short is having a resurgence thanks to Only Murderers in the Building.
Sure. And he and
Is that
Steve
good?
Martin. Yeah. I watched the first season. It was very good. I hear,
Yeah.
I hear it's very good. Yeah. And that one girl is a,
Selena Gomez.
Selena,
yeah,
yeah.
what would I call her? She's a.
Careful.
Smoke.
No, I wasn't going to be like that for once in my life.
Oh, smart.
Nobody.
Yeah,
believes
she's
that.
been really good. She's been a revelation. That's the word I was.
Nailed it.
She's been a revelation. She's
Yeah.
been really, really good. She's quite the actress.
Speaking of TV shows,
Go ahead.
have any of you seen Shrinking on Apple TV?
I saw the first season.
Incredible.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
I had no idea Harrison
It's
Ford.
the best
was-
show
yeah,
that
I know.
Apple TV has ever released. It's better than Ted Lasso.
That's ridiculous.
Better than
Just-
Severance?
It's better than. It's the best TV show that. It's
is good.
so good.
Severance and Ted Lasso are both 10 out of 10.
Oh, Shrinking is a 10 out of
The
10.
Big Mama's House 4
Yeah.
TV series.
That's an 11 out of 10.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a tearjerker.
It's a different level.
And just a jerker.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, for sure. No, he's right.
Yeah.
Don't degrade him.
Yeah.
He's right.
Don't kink.
This is a weird sentence, but make a little noise if you want to learn jujitsu from Tool's lead singer Maynard James Keenan. Anybody?
That he's super.
That guy.
into
Me and him.
That guy.
He's really into that.
Apparently you can. His movie, The Great In Between, an introduction to jujitsu, starts streaming December 13th.
Yeah, that's like his thing.
He
it
also
just
is a wino.
It says his
Yeah.
movie, though.
That's not right.
So
he owns a wine place.
he does. He does like wine.
It's like he owns the bums on the street that are alcoholics.
Movie might be a little loose, right? I don't know if it's a movie. If you honestly can just learn jujitsu, it sounds more like a
Like
Yeah.
training
Jerry-
video.
Jamie Lee
Jerry.
Curtis thing.
Cherry Lee Curtis.
Just relax. I'm tired. You know what I heard? I listened to a lot of podcasts. Mark Maron has the WTF podcast. You guys are familiar with Eddie Van Halen, obviously. His son is Wolfgang Van Halen. He's got his own band called Mammoth VH. I'd never heard the kids speak before, but I know that he started playing bass for Van Halen at 15. It was very controversial because he took over from Michael Anthony. And I'd heard that he'd gone through hell because people hated him for it. But he was like, hey, it's my dad. He wants me to play bass. I'm going to play bass. And then he started playing for the guy who's a guitar player for Alter Bridge.
Oh, Mark Tremonti?
Thank you very much. I knew somebody would know. And then he got his own band. Anyway, so he's on the WTF podcast. It's one of the best interviews I've ever heard. And him talking about his dad and his dad's struggles. And he and Mark talking about being a kid, babysitting your dad on tour to make sure he doesn't drink.
Wow.
What a torture.
Man.
You know, it's a great interview. And I had so much respect for this kid. I mean, he's so quiet. And like I said, I'd never heard him speak before, and he's a rock star. Rock stars like to talk, you know what I mean? So
His mom,
Yeah.
you know who his mom is?
Valerie Bertinelli.
Valerie Bertinelli.
Yeah, yeah, and she, he said that she comes to every concert that she can, and that she calls herself on social media Wolfgang's mom. That's yeah, Wolfie's mom or something like that. Yeah, but I encourage you, WTF podcast. After you listen to the fan all day, obviously, listen to the Wolfgang interview because man, that poor kid. And the stuff that his dad went through, and the racism, and just not even speaking the language when they moved to this country. So that's why Eddie and Al, his brother, the drummer for Van Halen, were so close as they couldn't speak to anybody but each other when they first got here for the longest time. It's a really good interview, and Wolfie, a lot of respect for that kid.
What was the name of the band?
His new band,
Yeah.
Mammoth VH, Van Halen.
If
Mammoth.
you started a band on Sunday, it would have been Mammoth BH.
Dang
Yes,
right.
it would.
He's right. I wish it had been a bigger Mammoth or
Wow.
then
That
I
would have been worth it.
Massager BH.
Oh my God.
Well, I had to do what I had to do.
AC/DC is touring North America next year. I think they're coming here in April.
Very first stop on the
Yeah.
tour,
US Bank.
Minneapolis, St. Paul, US Bank Stadium. And I read,
US Bank.
That's right. I read I think it's US Bank. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. I read a dirty rumor that, because Brian Johnson has such a hard time singing and he can't hear. Out of one ear, completely deaf out of one ear, that Axl Rose is going to tour with him on a lot of the stops to sing part of the songs.
Sweet.
Don't know if that's true, but I heard a rumor that that's true.
Yeah.
Hawk, as a musician, when you go on like a tour thing, is the first stop, do you feel rusty? Do you feel more energy because it's the first one, or how does that go?
Yeah, they are gonna. I would guess they will come about a week early and probably do a few shows there. But they will already have been rehearsing with their entire stage set up in an airplane hangar somewhere for a month before that. But I'm sure there's a lot going on. It's a lot different when it's a room full of people. Right. But they've been doing it forever.
Isn't it just the two of them?
Yeah,
It's
now
Brian
it's just
Johnson
Brian.
and
Yeah,
then-
Malcolm passed away. I think the drummer went to jail.
Yeah, for hiring to.
Hiring a hitman to kill somebody.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
all done it.
Yeah.
He just got
I think
caught.
Let's hear the other side of this story.
I heard a great story from Angus that I'll play for you guys tomorrow. And Angus doesn't talk very much either, but he was telling a story about when Bon Scott was in the band. And Bon Scott was the original lead singer, Highway to Hell and all that stuff. He died from choking on his own vomit because he got too drunk. We've all done that too.
Yeah, kids.
But he said that one time they were getting ready to go on the road, and they had their first night. They were scheduled to play, and the manager took Bon Scott to the airport and put him on the airplane. And then another manager was waiting at the other airport to collect him from the plane because you had to do it because he was such an alcoholic. Wow. He never got off the plane. And they didn't know what happened to him. And a week later, they got a call from the airport as he was getting off the plane. And they asked him, "Where have you been?" And he did not know.
Wow.
He said he had followed a lady off the plane and he had no idea what had happened after that for the next week. How much fun is that?
My God.
And then Tom Hanks played him in The Terminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, great film.
Never saw it. Okay.
it's great.
We've done this a couple times in the last couple weeks, but every dictionary seems to be putting out their word of the year. Well, now the Oxford Dictionary said their word of the year is technically two words. They're going with brain rot.
Why are you looking
Really?
at me?
That is the supposed deterioration of a person's mental or intellectual state, especially viewed as a result of overconsumption of online content. However, the first recorded use of brain rot was Henry David Thoreau's book Walden in 1854. So I guess it's not a new term, but we've used it differently in the last handful of years. So brain rot, everybody. We're all getting dumber.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
an
it's
accurate
all right.
word for 2024.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, I've watched it happen to somebody on this show. I'm not going to say who it is, but you can see their brain rotting.
Why? Me?
I did not say who.
He didn't say who.
You
Who,
assumed
me?
I was talking about you.
I definitely have that. What was it?
Hey, Zach,
You have crotch rot.
Chris.
I had it and I cured it. Nothing a shot can't cure. Hey, Zacho, when he's on the old phone, let us know. He should be calling any second.
You got it.
Jonathan Greenard. Thank you.
Disney World had to temporarily shut down its Haunted Mansion ride over the weekend after a guest scattered their loved one's ashes on it.
I mean, nothing more haunted, right?
I mean, amen.
Right. Just
Right.
trying to make it a little spookier.
I watched, in the last couple of weeks, I've watched now both seasons of White Lotus. And when Jennifer Coolidge goes to spread the ashes, it's pretty funny.
It's brilliant. And how about, I won't blow it, the last moments of the last episode of season 2. Did you see that coming?
No.
No, it's brilliant.
No.
Have you watched the show?
Yes, I'm trying to think about what the last moments were.
It's kind of a big moment.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it's great.
That's a great moment.
That's
Yeah.
how it ended?
Yeah.
There was.
well, for her,
Yeah. Wow.
great show.
I get why everybody loves it. Again, I thought both seasons were like super addicting, and I couldn't put either one of them down like a book, I guess. But dear God, will both of those seasons make you lose absolute faith in humanity? Because everyone in both seasons is broken, depressed,
There's no good
evil,
guy.
Yeah.
awful. It is like in Succession, they're all awful people, and you're trying to feel like, who am I cheering for here? Who do I hate the least? In White Lotus, both seasons, you're like, I think I like that person and that person and that person, and those three people suck. And by the end of the season, you're like, I hate all of these people. They're all terrible people. I don't want to be any of them. It was depressing as hell. Both seasons.
What a great review for the show. So
Yeah.
go watch White Lotus.
But it's not inaccurate though, right?
No, you're right.
It's
No,
crazy good.
there's
but
nobody to root
it's
for.
super
Yeah,
depressing.
they're all
Yeah.
terrible.
You're just watching relationships fall apart for 37 different reasons, and some of them you see coming, and some of them you don't. But you're like, man, everybody's awful to everybody. Everybody lies to everybody. Everybody cheats on everybody.
It's
This
like the
sucks.
Power Trip Morning Show.
Pretty much. It was. Yeah, it's a weird thing to like a show that much, but to be depressed the entire time you're watching it.
The acting is great.
Yeah.
The
It's a good show.
kid from The Sopranos is great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All of them. Just love it.
How
Love
about
that.
specifically in season 3, those three, the grandfather, the father, and the son, and how they're all at different points in their lives. They're all struggling with the same things,
Same
just
thing.
at different
Yeah.
points in their lives, and
Yeah.
realizing that
Great.
they're essentially just the future versions of each other. It's just depressing as hell.
Well, but that's it. I mean, that is life, right? I mean, that is it, right? That's the sad thing about it. You got to
What a heavy
change,
show.
right? Or you repeat the problems of the past, right? That's the whole point. I love it.
You know, there was some lightness and relief with Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was delightful, and we talk about a career resurgence. My goodness.
Yeah.
She's now doing credit card commercials because of that show.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, oh,
do,
yeah.
do you
but
wonder?
she's also a terrible boss, mostly a
Of course,
terrible
she's horrible.
wife,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
everything. Even she's a terrible
She is
person in the
terrible.
show.
She's a
Yeah.
box of rocks. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no doubt
She's
about
awful.
Yeah, but
She has brain rot.
but you do cheer for her if you're
might-
thinking about a character that you want good things for.
Kind of. You feel bad
has a
for
likability
her a little bit,
factor.
but then you start to realize, well, she's also terrible as
Yeah,
well.
I didn't
Great
look
show.
that deeply into it.
don't you wonder, like, if you sat down across from her at lunch, if she'd be like a NASA scientist? Because she can't really be like that,
No.
right?
I don't
She
think
plays the same character in every show.
Yeah,
I've
that
never
might-
seen her
right.
not play that character.
Fair.
Have you ever heard her talk in not that voice? Her voice does not. I mean, it sounds like a version of that.
Yeah, right.
But
Can you do a Coolidge impression? Let's see you do it.
Oh, you look like the 4th of July.
That's
Oh my God,
not
that's
bad.
really good.
Now, Hawk, you
now I
do
want
it.
a hot dog.
That's not bad at all, Marnie.
That's
I'm so
really
glad I asked.
good.
Look at Marnie Gellner auditioning for Saturday Night
great
Live.
one.
That was pretty good.
I'm impressed. Now do Calvin Coolidge.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Nailed it. You guys don't know, but that's exactly it. That was perfect. Well done.
Sauce, that was
Jennifer's
a president. That was her grandfather.
Oh, she knows
President Coolidge.
all
Oh, really?
about
Yeah.
Coolidges, don't you?
Is that where you go after high school?
Not bad for a guy with brain rot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was not bad.
He went to Coolidge.
62% of Americans don't believe that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
I've never seen it.
I mean, that's
Say the percentage again.
62%
Don't.
don't think it's a Christmas movie.
I'm not offended by that.
Yeah.
That's
It's
okay.
it's a yearly debate. Every December, somebody brings it up, and technically it was me.
We're not offended by that, right?
It's
We're okay. with it.
interesting why we need to have this debate.
Every
Do we
year?
need to determine if it was or wasn't?
It's a
Specifically
fantastic
Die Hard every year.
I mean,
no other movie.
Sauce. The fact that you have never seen Gladiator or Die Hard,
Or Braveheart.
I heard that you
Braveheart's
went
okay.
40 minutes in and then got bored.
Yep.
Die Hard and Gladiator, man. Those are.
I've not seen.
Like, it makes sense why I haven't seen Grease. I don't understand how you didn't see Die Hard. Why did your Uncle Peter not take you to see Die Hard in 1988?
That's a good question.
He brought you to Major League?
Yes, he did.
Man.
Speaking of Major League,
Stop. Stop.
radio for 5 people.
I invited you over for Thanksgiving.
I know you did.
You couldn't handle it.
Bad idea.
According to a new survey, the most overcrowded, chaotic tourist attraction over the holidays is Universal Studios.
Never been.
That's where Harry Potter World is, right?
Isn't that where you bought
Yeah.
all those wands?
I did. I bought 3 of them. Still got them.
How much were they?
$700 million. I don't know. I didn't even look at the price tag.
Yeah, you don't care.
Abby, you want these? Yep. Okay, here. That was how I did it. It wasn't a good idea, probably, but nobody told me any better. Right? I grew up poor. I didn't get anything I wanted, so I overcompensated a bit. What are you going to do?
I do the same thing. My daughter's 11 now, and she's just starting to realize the power that she has
Oh, yeah.
over me. She doesn't take advantage of it yet. But we were at Target a couple weeks ago, and she just slipped some earrings into my hand. And I said, "What is this? What if today's the day I put my foot down and say no?" And she's like, "It's not." And she just kept walking.
Man.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, that is
And
perfect.
you're like, you're right. You're right.
She read me like a book.
Oh, it sounds like that is the call of the Minnesota Viking horn right there. That must mean Jonathan Greenard is on the show right now.
This is a bat signal.
That might be true.
Hi, Jonathan. Good morning.
What's going on? How y'all doing?
Pretty good. We're hanging out at SCHEEL's in Eden Prairie thanks to our friends at the Minnesota Vikings and Unreal. And we had your teammate Cam Bynum on like 2 hours ago. He seems nice.
I love Cam. B's like one of the most likable people in the building. Y'all can probably see that through like our play, through like on TV with the celebrations and all that. But yeah, that's just always Beasley. Like, it's just great energy, great guy, knows the game, and like it's just fun to be around.
Jonathan, as we're out here collecting toys for tots, and we were just talking about Cam Bynum, and you bring that up. He's such a likable guy. And I remember telling these guys after we got back from Cleveland, when we went out there for the joint practices this year, I said, I don't know how good this team's going to be, but I feel like this team really likes each other. I feel like they're all friends. And I know that's oversimplification, but I don't always feel like it's like that with every team. Am I right about that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, you can have a bunch of guys on the team who are really, really good players, but they might not be really, really good people, So I feel like it's always hard to find that fine line between finding that perfect person to fit that because, so many things can change within the game of football. You're making plays, you're feeling good. You're not making plays, you might be feeling down. But I think it's the complete opposite with this team. No matter what, we're always even killed. We're always ready, for our number to be called. Yet when somebody else makes that play that is, when it's not us, we're all cheering them on the same way as if we make the play. So I think that having that quality amongst the teammates, how they constructively kind of like design this team and put people together like this, it was perfect. I mean, we meshed so well. We always were laughing. I feel like every single day we're in there, it's a joke session all the time. So like, when you're having that bad day or you feel like you're down in the dumps, somebody gonna say a joke or do something in there for you to not have a bad day. So you never have a bad day in that building for sure.
Well, Nardog, you guys all had a pretty good day on Sunday in beating the Cardinals. As that game was coming down to the final couple of minutes, and as a defense, you guys were chasing Kyler Murray around the field, and you had to come out for a play. We called a timeout. It seemed like for you to be able to catch your breath. Can you describe the level of fatigue and effort that you were putting in the final minutes of that game?
Yeah, I was already, been somewhat dealing with this new weather. Obviously, this is my first time being in some true cold weather experience like a winter for real since like Louisville days. But, my daughter had a little sickness and kind of gave it around the house. We've been dealing with that all week leading up until, but it was something that, obviously you deal with and you're able to still play. But, towards that end, I have bad asthma. So, when dealing with stuff like that, it kind of, triggers it to go off a little bit. And of course, as you mentioned, chasing around somebody like that and dealing with all those things, man, it's not a great combination. But, man, man, you had to dig deep and find it. You know, that was the main thing that the whole time I was telling myself and our teammates was just telling each other is, listen, it's going to be on us. You know, offense did their thing and came back and put us in this situation so we can go ahead and put out one more stop so that way we can win the game. And, you know, I didn't even know they were calling that timeout, honestly, to get me back in there. I thought they called the timeout on the other side just so they can, you know, regroup. But later on, I figured out it was try to get me back in the game. I was like, okay, well, one more play, man. Whatever it takes, whatever I had to dig deep and find, I had to just go and push through and try to help the team win. And Shaq came up big with that pick to seal the game. So, and that's another point to our team. I mean, obviously I didn't get the sack, but obviously finished the game out, which you will probably see for guys calling the timeout. But we got other teammates who are ready for their number to be called, like Shaq. You know, it's been in these situations to where it just continues to grind and continue to just play his technique, continue to just wait until that moment comes. And sure enough, he did that and sealed the game for us. And we cannot be more excited for a guy like that to make that play.
Jonathan, you weren't on the team last year, but Kirk Cousins is coming back this Sunday to play your Vikings. What's the buzz around the defensive room about facing some of your teammates' former teammate?
To be honest, I haven't really talked to much of the team, obviously, about it, really. We've been on such of a mindset. I know it sounds like weird or like a maybe a lie, but we really haven't talked about it much. We honestly are looking at them as another opponent. Hey, we need to win out, and that's our mindset no matter who we play. You know, obviously it's going to be a good time because he's completely different than who we just played the previous 2 weeks as far as the running ability. But we know what he brings to the table. At least I know what he brings to the table as a quarterback, as an offensive mind, just understanding like how a team's running schemes. And I'm sure that he remembers going against Flo in practice a little bit last year, I'm assuming. But it should be a fun one, man. I just think that we're going to continue to just go out there, execute our job and do our thing, no matter who's at quarterback. But for myself as a pass rusher, I'm definitely glad that it's not one of those running quarterbacks for sure.
On a much lighter note, we could wrap up with this. We're at SCHEEL's for Toys for Tots, raising a bunch of money and funds and collecting toys for people that need it this holiday season. Jonathan, do you have a toy from your childhood that stands out, one Christmas or something that you got that made a big difference to you?
Oh, man, a nice toy that I love, man. I think between those, like, little RC cars that they had, like the remote control cars back then, I think that was probably my favorite one. My mom used to always give me one for Christmas. I knew I was going to get some type of remote control type car or some type deal like that. So it was got to be one of those for sure. That was their RC.
Good call. Jonathan, you're the best, dude. Good game on Sunday, and good luck against the Falcons this Sunday.
Will do. You know, I always appreciate y'all for having me. Have a good one.
And there he goes. Jonathan Greenard of the Minnesota Vikings. Man,
he's a good dude, man.
And that play down the stretch, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could stop time if Jonathan would have thought that he hit the ball hard enough out of Kyler Murray's hand, because it looked like he just barely grazed it, but the ball came out and then they jumped on it for the sack. It was pretty sick. That was a huge play. And it seems like Jonathan does that every week, where even if he has been quiet for a quarter or two, it just seems like there's a play in the back half of the fourth quarter where he's the one making it.
And if you want to see Jonathan Greenard here at SCHEEL's, just go to the Ferris wheel and then look in the Vikings section. There's a wall and there's a huge mural of the Nard dog right here in this very store.
You know, Cam said something earlier, and I hadn't thought about it, but somebody was being interviewed after the game this weekend, and they were saying, oh, no, it was the Washington team. They're going into their bye this weekend. We had our bye like 9 months ago. It seems like a long time ago. They've got to be worn out. I mean, I know that there's, you know, you can't predict when you're going to get your bye. You can't determine that yourself, but that seems pretty early, and I think we're suffering from that a bit right now.
I don't know. If I had asthma, I would quit playing sports. You know?
Yeah, that's when my Uncle Peter stopped playing.
Do you play sports?
No, I do not, and I don't have asthma.
Okay, yeah, right.
That's why Peter didn't go pro?
Yeah. He has bad asthma.
Oh, man, tough break for Uncle Peter.
Other than that, was he on track for that?
What was his sport? Hockey.
No kidding.
Really? I would not have guessed that he was a hockey player.
Wow.
Yeah.
He seems too tall. I know there are some tall hockey players, but that's pretty rare.
This dude that we just traded for is apparently real tall.
He's 6'4".
Yeah. I bet on skates he's even taller than that.
No. This thing happened again. A 21-year-old guy in Iowa credits his late grandfather for helping him win the lottery.
Oh.
He stopped by to buy flowers for his mom, aunt, and grandmother on the anniversary of his grandfather's death.
Oh.
And while he was there, he's like, I might as well play the lottery. And he bought a scratch-off ticket and won $25,000.
Man. Come on, Grandma, where you at for me?
That's what I'm saying.
Again, every week or
My
so we
grandpa
have a
stole
story
money
like this.
from the grave.
Did he really?
Yeah, he just came back and haunted me, opened my wallet.
Grandpa!
Like, damn, Grandpa, my last 20?
He must need it.
Yeah,
I
man.
wonder if there's gambling in the afterlife.
For you, no.
Why?
You have to listen to me do sports for eternity.
Then this is hell on earth. Anyway. All
The
right.
next time that we do a live show, Max, you and I got to switch places because anytime Sauce or Corey talks,
I know, I've
and
been
you're
having
looking
to lean
at,
back.
I can't
from-
see
The fro is in the
anything.
way. Now you know how it feels to sit behind me at a sporting event.
I love you, buddy, but you got to sit on the outside next time.
Okay, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Nordquist is here. Hi, Nordo.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
So we were supposed to have Speedy Naylor, but he at the last second couldn't come. Who do you guys have with you today? Do you know?
So at 9:30, we're going to have wide receiver Tristan Jackson.
Good dude.
And then at 10:30, the guy who leads the team in tackles, Blake Cashman,
nice.
Eden Prairie's finest. Maybe woke up at mom and dad's house and is just rolling overs. We're excited about it.
Very cool. That'll be a lot of fun. So make sure you stick around for that as we have Vikings players and such throughout the day. Go ahead, Saucy.
Did you see Abbott emailed us that somebody at a local ski place wants to teach us all to snowboard?
Oh, boy.
I literally will pay that man to break your legs. Nordo, how much fun would that be?
It would be fun to learn to snowboard. Now, the tough thing with Sauce, lean back, Saucy. You're a little head heavy. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to tumble your way down the hill.
I'm a little chest heavy, too.
You wish.
Nordo, you spend a lot of time with Sauce. Give me the % chance that Sauce can ever successfully get down a hill on a snowboard.
0%. Wow. and I'm putting myself in the category when I was growing up. I snowboarded all the time and would even try my luck on a quarter piper. I tried it 5 years ago and I couldn't handle the bunny hill. It's kind of a forgotten skill. And the fact that guys like the motorcycle twins, Saucy and Nord's here, we struggle as it is. We need as many blades, as many things supporting us underneath as possible. It'd be a tough ride for either of us.
We don't want to cause an avalanche either.
Yeah. Yeah, you just stick to the inner tubes, one for your body and one for your head.
Arm float.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, arm floaties would be great. Oh,
At least I'm not
Saucy.
constipated.
Well, there is that. Thanks to everybody
You got
for
me
coming
there.
out to watch this dumb show at Shields. Thanks to Shields. Thanks to Unreal.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thanks to the Minnesota Vikings.
Thank you.
Thanks to Caribou Coffee.
Thank you.
Go buy some toys at Shields and throw them in his bin. A lot of kids need it this time of year, so go do that. Right, Marnie?
Yep, I'll be doing it right at this show. I'm
And thank you,
shopping
Zacho.
for the tots.
I got to go spend $100 of Joe Smith's money, right? It's burning a hole in my pocket.
Yep.
Marnes, your place is pretty cool. I can see why you like this.
We love this place.
It's my favorite store, and I say that with all conviction and heartfelt truth.
Max
Thank
and I
you
are
for
getting in
being
our
here.
van, and we'll be out doing Tots for Toys
Yes,
throughout
sir.
the rest of the day today.
I'm taking
Auditions.
I'm taking Max shopping.
Oh.
Deal.
I mean, I'm not paying
Sugar
for
mama
anything. I'm just
situation? Oh.
showing you things.
I'm
I'm
out.
going to take you around the store and show you things.
9 to noon is next. Nordo's already here. PA should be here shortly. Again, a couple of Vikings on their way as well in the next couple of hours. Get out to Shields and Eden Prairie. Everybody have a great day. Thanks.
To listen back to today's Power Trip Morning Show or to hear previous shows, podcast us on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.